Really our goal for treatment with interventions in the whole spectrum is to provide a customized treatment care package for patients.
When you look at the conditions we treat, they're common and they're prevalent. And I think we've been learning more and more about how prevalent they are over the last decade. A combination of technology and expertise now has brought to the forefront therapies and treatments that really make a difference.
The joy that this profession brings to me is the ability to alleviate patients' pain. It's very rewarding to have that interaction with the patient.
So obviously it's very important that we want to make sure our kids get to and from school as safe as they can, as well as when they're out in the neighborhoods, just having a good time, that they're practicing safe things when they're walking or bike riding. We always want to make sure the kids stay on the sidewalk. Walk on the sidewalk, ride your bikes on the sidewalk. If there's no sidewalk, then stay clear to the right-hand side of the road as far as possible, making sure that you can be seen. When the kids are on the sidewalk, they still need to watch for cars crossing the sidewalk, people pulling in their driveways and backing out of their driveways. And it's important to make sure that they're always kind of watching what's around them. So we have 3 crossing guards for each of the elementary schools, and they're trained. They go through continuous training on an annual basis on how to make sure we can get the kids across the street as safely as possible. And that's their responsibility. There's designated areas that have been engineered and designed as a safe place for the kids to cross. And those areas are where we put a crossing guard to help control the traffic so we can get those kids across that street safely. We don't ever want the kids to ride their bicycles across the street in any crosswalk whatsoever. So they're going to be asked to get off their bicycle, and when the crossing guard goes out, they'll stop the traffic. When they make sure the traffic is stopped, then they'll wave the kids to come through the crosswalk. And they'll ask them to walk, not to run, not to hustle, not to skip, not to ride their bikes or their scooters, to walk. So also, when kids are riding their bikes around, we want to make sure we stress to parents the importance of putting helmets on their kids, making sure they have the gear needed to be safe while they're riding. And, helmets are a huge importance when the kids are riding their bicycles. So we have 2 school resource officers that cover the schools here in Hurricane, all the way from high school all the way down through elementary. And so their roles is to kind of be a school officer who is there to help the administration. We have a very good relationship with the administration in all the schools here. They're great to work with. The school district's been great to work with. And so those officers there are there to help to ensure the laws are enforced within the schools. If we have issues that have to do with the safety of those students in the school, that's what they're there for. They're to help with that. Also, they're there to work with the youth, the students. If they're dealing with issues that reach a safety concern or issue, they have somebody they can go to. The school resource officers are encouraged to work on building relationships, to be trusted by those youth, to be there to help support them. They're there to educate. Our school resource officers teach classes, and we want to be proactive. We'll enforce traffic laws as people come into the areas around the school. They'll watch for those traffic violations. They'll look at safe routes to and from schools. They will look at within the school how secure the school is, both for those inside as well as those out coming from the outside. We encourage our patrol officers, as the time designates, to be proactive around our schools, to watch for the traffic violations, watching for people doing things that may be distractive to their ability to drive their cars when they're in the school zones. We need the help. We need the community's help to make sure that our kids get to and from school as safely as possible. And so they're going to be out there to help watch for that. They're routinely out there working those areas and seeing people who are texting and driving in a school zone. They're working hard to try to do what we can to make sure we enforce the laws needed to help make sure people are being especially cautious within the school zones. Okay, so we also want to just make sure that we encourage the community to be an extra hand out there. Slow down when you're coming into a school zone. Slow down when you're coming around the schools. Be extra cautious and extra aware of the kids who are out there. Let's help make sure we get our kids to and from school as safely as possible. And let's help make sure our kids are safe while they're at school.